Hello and welcome back to the Overdue Sports Show, episode 14 of the Overdue Sports Show. I'm your host, Jake Sawinski, accompanied as always by Will Massa. Second recording of the day. How we doing, Will?
It's been a long morning, but we got baseball to talk about, which is a little bit overdue. I don't know if I'm allowed to even say that word in that context on the show. It's just, it was no pun intended. I feel disgusted that I even said it, but MLB kicked off last week, ready to break down some ball. We've been pumping out some blogs about our predictions, and quite honestly, like, we've kind of nailed it to this point. I know we're only 7 games in, so I don't want to get too excitable, but things are looking up. I was definitely wrong about some players and teams, but I think there's a lot of things that I've seen over the first week that maybe we saw some things that were right.
I would happen to agree with that. So, unless you have any objections, I was just planning on going by division. Just start AL East, work our way west, and AL,
Let's do it.
whatever you want to do. All right. Sorry, trying to stifle a sneeze. Torpedo bats in the Bronx. New York Yankees off to a really hot start hitting. Do you have a take about these torpedo bats? Because I really don't. I don't care.
I'm with you. I think it's getting a huge overreaction. And I actually saw a really funny tweet about it the other day. And it was like the fact that it took a Harvard engineer to figure out that building the sweet spot around where you hit the ball the most is effective is crazy to me. It's like very true.
That's
the fact
true.
that I mean, it falls within the line of the rules. So to call it cheating is just blatantly wrong. I can see why some people have an issue with it, but to be honest, it's really just the old heads that have an issue with it.
Which is
that
also
I've seen, at least.
least shocking thing ever.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So I think I don't really have an opinion on it. Like I said, it's going to vary by player. Like, it's not like it's going to be this huge wave that takes over baseball, right? It's going to be very case by case dependent on who uses it. Anthony Volpe being the good example. He was getting jammed a ton last year, so we moved the sweet spot a little bit closer to his hands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Starts hitting the ball a little bit harder. Small sample size still. I don't really believe in him. He's definitely gotten some cheap home runs, especially in that Brewers series. It's some 270-foot fly balls that snuck out in right field. But those are the kinds of guys that are going to use it. You're never going to see an Aaron Judge go to it. And that's why I think the people who are calling it cheating is completely wrong. Like, if there was a true advantage to it, a true universal advantage, I'll put it that way, every single player would be an idiot to not use it. And there's only going to be maybe 1 to 2 guys in every lineup that are going to be using it, if that. It's just not something that's going to be this prevalent thing. And guys were using it last year from time to time. This isn't this brand new invention. It's just becoming a little bit more relevant because I think we're getting to the point where, after studying it through last season, through maybe off season,
it's like, hey,
teams are saying, hey, this works for you. Let's see what happens, right? That's how I feel about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think we're getting a ton of overreactions, but we're only a week into the season, and that's kind of what you do a week into the season, is overreact. So
yeah,
it feels like that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that whole weekend was a lot more indicative of the Brewers pitching as opposed to the Yankees using new bats. But I know a couple of the Brewers players were complaining about it. It's like, you guys just got PP whacked pretty good, and like, it's not. Like, let's not blame the bats.
And that's my point. That's a stupid comment because it's not the whole lineup using it. I believe there's 2 guys in the Yankees lineup using it. I believe it's Volpe
and Chisholm.
And Chisholm, yes. So to say that is just wrong. Yes, Volpe had a very good weekend. Yeah, he's got 3 home runs, and he's far from a power hitter. But to say that, oh, it's the Yankees, so we're not going to call it cheating, it's so wrong.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
But, like, it's good for the sport, right? It's like,
oh, I agree.
Yankees hate is always good chatter. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But they look really good. I think we did our division previews before it was announced that Garrett Cole was going to have TJ this season. But it seems like they really haven't missed a beat. Like, they are mashing the baseball right now, top to bottom in their lineup. Red Sox? How are you feeling about the Red Sox? Kind of a slow start. Haven't looked the best pitching the ball. It seems like every game they're involved in has, had 20 plus runs. They're hitting, but I think the pitching is what's really letting them down so far.
Yeah, I'm not ready to overreact on the Red Sox. This is a team that I took to win this division. Garrett Crochet has been lights out to this point, as expected. The haters who said, "Oh, he's not a starting pitcher. He should be a closer. He's going to get hurt." Wrong. Super wrong.
Well, maybe the first part I agree, but I'm not.
Yeah, okay, he might get hurt.
But the second part, I'm not going to comment.
Everybody in the MLB at this point is in quote unquote injury prone. The piece that I am a little bit concerned with is Walker Buehler. He's just gotten touched up, and I really thought he found. I shouldn't say I thought he did find something in the postseason. I still think that he's 100%. Going to round into form. He's not going to be a 7 ERA guy. At least I hope he's not. He's coming off of 2 years of not playing. I said it last year when he was still at the Dodgers that we're probably not going to see him into full form until at some point this year. And so I still think you're going to see that. He's in a new location. He'll figure some things out. This is a team that had the worst bullpen in baseball last year. The back end actually looks pretty good. Aroldis Chapman is still throwing 102 miles an hour. He's a freak. We don't appreciate him more as a player. No, he's not the best guy, but
much better player than human.
Exactly. The red flag I know getting flown around in the Red Sox community is Devers.
He looks horrible.
Went 15 straight at bats without a hit. He's starting to come around a little bit. My biggest thing actually is going to be Tristan Casas. Red Sox fans love him. You would think he's Barry Bonds. There were some rumors getting flown around that they were interested in trading for Vladdy in the offseason and that the package would include Tristan Casas, and Red Sox fans were up in arms about that. You can't trade 3 years of Tristan Casas for 1 year of Vladdy and hope to extend him. You absolutely should have, first of all. You'd be crazy not to do that. He's hitting not well. I'm not a Tristan Casas guy. I know a lot of Red Sox people are. I just don't think he's the guy.
I think the pop potential's there, though. I think that's kind of what they're looking at.
Absolutely.
Like the slug's definitely there. It's just he'll hit low 200s right now. Like until he, becomes a more developed hitter. It's going to be
if
potential.
He does.
Yeah, big if.
But at 4-4, I'm not ready to overreact. They looked horrible in their first series, as did a handful of teams. And having your best hitter not get a hit for your first 5 games is not exactly ideal. So I'm not ready to overreact on the Red Sox. The Orioles sitting at 3-5 right now. That was a team that I was really interested in the under on their win total at 90.5. Looking pretty good so far. The offense is going to be good. This is going to be really close. If they go under, I genuinely think they're going to have 88 wins. I just don't think they're a 90-plus win team with that rotation. Zach Eflin has looked solid so far, but he's Zach Eflin. You have Dean Kramer, who is a Chad innings eater. Mm-hmm. Charlie Morton, kind of same deal. He's 42. So you've got some age there. I like some of the young pieces they have on the pitching side. Getting Felix Bautista back is going to be a huge help for them. I know he hasn't looked sharp yet, but over the course of the season, he'll be fine. This just isn't a team that I wanted to buy into. It seemed like they were right there, and they didn't make the move to do it. And I know a lot of people believe in the Grayson Rodriguez being an ace, and he's hurt right now, so I can't really include that. But I don't quite think he's that. And losing Corbin Burns and replacing him with Grayson Rodriguez is tough.
Not ideal.
And I love Kyle Bradish. Kyle Bradish is electric, but he also really can't stay on the field. So hard to put some stock there.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I wanted to touch on Devers real quick. Isn't he always a pretty cold April hitter, or am I?
Yes, he's a notoriously slow starter.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was the impression I had. I just wasn't 100% certain if that's true. So I'm not panicking there either. I mean, he's one of the best hitters in baseball anyways. Just give him time. So he'll be good to go soon.
The Blue Jays.
Blue Jays are surprising. I thought they'd kind of be iffy. Like when I was doing the AL East preview, we kind of split it up. I did 3 long form blogs, and then Will did his win totals, just kind of a summation of everything. I don't see the purpose of doing the other 3 divisions at this point, but that's okay. We got a couple in there. Hopefully you guys read them. I thought they'd be like good. I thought this would probably be the most competitive division in baseball on like the good end. Like the AL Central, NL Central might be more competitive, but like I think most of those teams are going to have a lower ceiling. They look really good. Hitting the ball. I mean, they did play the Nats, and who did they play opening weekend? Red Sox, Rangers. Thought something with an
They
R.
they played the Orioles.
Orioles. Okay, and they took 2 of those. I thought the Orioles were one.
They split 2-2.
2-2. Oh, okay, it was a 4 game. I feel like they're hitting the ball. Hitting the
Yeah.
ball. Pitching's been okay.
Yeah, George Springer is off to a crazy start, and he just seems to never age. As much as I'm not a big George Springer guy, he produces in that lineup. Bo Bichette is coming around. I have so much stock in Bo Bichette this year for a comeback. He's a guy that can easily lead the league in hits. He did it a couple years ago. He's a guy that can knock on the door of 200 hits in a season. He's done it before. I think he's just gonna continue rolling. I've got a ton of stock in him. I love what he's gonna do this year. I'm really high on him. For me, it's gonna be a lot. I mean, what are you gonna get out of Kevin Gausman? I think is a big question.
He's very bipolar. Yeah,
He
you don't
was
know what you're going to get out of him.
Yeah, he was bad last year, quite honestly. Jose Barrios, you know what
Same
you're going to
thing.
get out of him every
Yeah.
single.
Yeah, a couple really good starts and then a tragic implosion in the next start. Yeah.
Chris Bassett is also really consistent. He's very consistently good. Bowden Francis still young, but he was the best pitcher in baseball in the second half last year. I like what they have. Max Scherzer, we'll see what he's still got in the tank. But I like the Jays this year. I don't think they're going to win the division. I think I had them at fourth. I want to say
that's what I did
this
too. I think
this
we
is a
were pretty
division that's going to
calibrated.
Yeah, this is a
But
division
like,
that
not
everyone's
bad.
going to be within 5 or 6 games of each other.
Yeah. Oh no, I had them 5th. I had the Rays finishing above them, I think.
Oh,
But
I may have as well, honestly.
yeah, but like you said, I think like the ceiling in this division's much higher, and like in the AL East, having a team finish last doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be bad.
Yes.
Because like they don't play as many games in the division anymore. Like it used to be half of the games or like 60 of the games were in division, and I think it's down to like the mid to high 30s now. Like you play each team like twice, a couple of them 3 times. So like it's very realistic that the A's or the Jays finish in last place and have 85 wins. Like that's very realistic. So like I'm not terribly high on them ceiling wise, but I'm like I don't think their floor is going to be terribly low either. At least based on what we've seen so far. It seems like they're playing a little better than we both expected, through the first week and a half.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'll touch on the Rays really quick. The pitching has been ridiculously good, to no surprise.
Which we expected, yeah.
Yeah. My biggest thing with them is I'm really curious to see how it goes over the course of the season, because they are playing in a minor league park where historically the ball flies there. And from my knowledge, the Trop is a very pitcher friendly park.
Deceiving. You wouldn't think it would be, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Just based on, I guess it has something to do with the batter's eye, to my understanding, that hitters just have trouble picking it up.
Yeah.
The offense is good, man. Junior Caminero is awesome. He's going to be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. Brandon Lau is off to a really good start. This is just a fun team. They brought up Jake Mangum this year. If you're a college baseball fan, you'll remember him from the really good Mississippi State teams. He's finally getting a crack at it. He's like the white Ichiro kind of deal. He's been awesome so far. I like the Rays. The Rays are just the Rays. Like they're always going to be really fun. I want to see how the pitching holds up in that minor league stadium, because I genuinely don't know how to account for that over the course of the season. But that pitching staff is always going to be really good.
And I was pretty low on the lineup. Like I figured the pitching would be really good, and I just didn't see a ton of big names in this lineup outside of like Yandy Diaz or Brandon Lau. Lau. I don't know which one's which. Nathaniel Lau, Brandon Lowe. That's it. I think I got it right. Did I get it? Is that how you do it? I think I'm right.
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, this was a lineup I wasn't very high on. Like you lost Paredes. I know you don't like him. You lost to Rosarena. We both don't like him. And like it didn't seem like they really went out and did a ton, free agent wise or trade wise, but they do have a really good farm system. So it's like in order for that lineup to be good, you're going to need a lot of younger guys to step up. So far, it seems to be the case. So
yeah, and
guess we'll see.
unfortunately, Shane McClanahan is back on the shelf. He got hurt in spring training. I don't know I can't remember what his timetable is. It looked really bad on the injury. I actually thought he blew out his UCL again and was going to be out for the year. I want to say that he's a late April comeback, maybe early May, but
that's good.
They're probably going to take it pretty slow with him.
Yeah, why rush him back? I think
Exactly.
your window is a little farther down the road than this year, because I think whether it's third or fourth or fifth doesn't really matter. I think we can both agree that they're not going to be one or two just with what they've got. NL East, big surprise here. The darling Braves they just got the monkey off their back last night. We're recording Saturday morning. We'll probably release this Tuesday. But Braves look really stinky. Really, really stinky.
Yeah.
The hitting
Braves
and the pitching, everything.
Yes.
Bad.
Braves community is up in arms right now. Austin Riley has been really bad to start the year, which is a bummer. I really like Austin Riley. I think he's going to be fine. Yeah. Matt Olson finally left the yard yesterday, so that's a step in the right direction for him. I don't know. And Drake Baldwin is arguably the unluckiest hitter in baseball right now. He's hitting the absolute cover off the ball and has nothing to show for it. He's hitting 091 despite hitting the ball, well above 95 miles an hour every single time he's up to the plate, it seems like. This team is going to be fine. The big news with the Braves right now, Jurickson Profar caught with PEDs.
Yeah, that's
done
bad.
for I believe it's
80 games, right?
80
so
games.
He'll be back in August.
And no postseason. If you get caught with PEDs,
I didn't know that.
If you get caught with PEDs, regardless of which time it is, you can't play in the postseason. So they will get him for the playoff push, but not in the
playoffs.
Yeah, so that's a little wrinkle to throw in there.
And as long as they're not 50 games under 500 by the time June rolls around, they'll be fine because they don't lose in June. I think it's the last 3-4 seasons they're 20-2 in June or better. Yeah. It's stupid how hot they get in the middle of the summer. But yeah, they'll be fine. But what a really rocky start.
Really bad start. Spencer Schwellenbach looks incredible, by the way. He was a guy that I know a lot of people in the baseball community were sprinkling for Cy Young votes or sprinkling for Cy Young winner. He's going to get votes. He's one of the best young arms in the game. He's really, really fun. Very shocking start. Let's move to the top of the NL East. The Phillies, 6-1. They mash to no surprise.
Business as usual. Oh yeah.
It is literally just business as usual. Jesus Luzardo, I knew this pickup was going to be so good for them. I'm such a Luzardo guy. I really liked him in Miami. I figured he was just going to be a wins merchant this year, but he's pitching to a 1.5 through 2 starts right now. And he has 19 strikeouts in 12 innings. And then obviously you have Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, who are, as consistent as they come over the course of a season. I know Nola got touched up in his first start, but this is just a really good team top to bottom.
Don't forget, Taijuan Walker's consistent too. It's just not the consistent you want.
Although I think he threw 6 shutty the other night.
Yeah, he did. He looked okay. But I don't know if there's a worse name you can have as a pitcher besides Walker. Really. Can you have a worse name as a pitcher?
Barrel.
Barrel. Shelled.
Yeah, if that exists.
Yeah.
This team, quite honestly, I think I'm regretting taking the Braves to win the division. I think my top 2 were Braves, Phillies in that order.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was going to be really close. It probably is going to be really close. I think I'm kind of leaning towards the Phillies as we stand right now. I just think that, and the thing is with the Phillies, their bullpen is so good. And it has been the last couple of years. I think that's going to be the one constant with them. Mm-hmm. The big team in this one, the Mets, 4-3.
Yeah.
That's how we feel about them this year, though. That's how we feel about them the whole year. Everyone, they're going to win the East. They're going to run away with the East.
No.
I feel very meh about the Mets. Their pitching has been ridiculously good to this point. Really, really good. I want to see how that holds up because I'm not a big fan of the individual players in their pitching staff. I know they do a great job with pitching development. Kodai Senga has looked pretty good so far.
Yeah,
He's
that
finally
was
off the
more
injury
what I was
shelf.
going to ask you about is how do you feel about Kodai Senga this year?
I think he's going to be great this year. He's got really good stuff. He's finally off the injury thing. I'm sure he's going to be a little bit of a slower starter, but I really like him. I like a lot of the pieces on this pitching staff, but in a playoff format, this doesn't scare me. Tyler Megill, Clay Holmes, David Peterson, Kodai Senga.
Yeah, that was another one. Clay Holmes moving to the starting rotation. It seems
Bronx.
to have
Yeah.
worked okay. Yeah, he was in the Yankees.
Great so far. I want to see how this holds up over the course of the season, because coming into the preseason, my whole thing with them is they don't really scare me.
Yeah, that lineup's not necessarily like the scariest thing in the world. Like you've got some heavy hitters in the middle, but like
you've got Soto, you've got Pete, you've got Lindor.
And
but then
Brandon
it's
Nimmo seems to be a really clutch hitter for whatever reason.
Yes.
Like I wouldn't
I
say
don't like
he's
him.
really good, but like
I'm not a big Nimmo guy, but
he looks exactly like one of our teammates, Sternig. Same mannerism.
yes, he does. Yes,
yeah,
he does.
we call him Sternig. It's very funny. But yeah, it looks just like doesn't look like him, but like same mannerisms. Like swings the bat the same way, catches a fly ball, throws it in the same way. It's very funny. But yeah, you don't like him very much, but like
no, I do not.
He's just like a strangely clutch hitter. I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
but
I mean, to me, this is what I said in December, and people did not receive it well, or not in December when they signed Soto. This felt like it's going to be very similar to the Yankees of last year, but now it's just the Mets. I feel like it's a very similar team, but without the Garrett Cole ace that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's a better bullpen, but the NL is way better as a whole than the AL.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I don't know. I picked the Mets to be third. I feel comfortable with that pick. I think that's kind of how it's going to shake out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is the real deal Jeff McNeil ever going to be the real deal again? He seems to be like a one-hit wonder. That one season led the batting champion, and just hasn't come back.
Yeah, I'm also not a big Jeff McNeil guy.
Yeah, he's kind of he seems very sorry. Like a big whiner.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you like that nickname, the real deal?
I did. Never heard that.
Yeah, I make up a lot of stupid monikers. I'm definitely creative with my words. It's about
what about the truth, Brett Beatty? He's off to a pretty rough start. I wonder how long the leash is going to be with him. I know he's still really young. He hasn't really gotten the full taste of an MLB season. He did kind of last year, but this is going to be like his first real test. So I'm really curious to see how he plays. I know a lot of people in the Mets community actually really dislike him.
I didn't know that. I thought he was kind of like the potential.
They're very polarized. Very polarized.
Okay.
People either love him or they're
like,
get him out
done with him
now. Yeah. There are some interesting rumors that I could easily see. The biggest one being the Mets trading for Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins, who are sitting at 4-4 right now. I believe all 4 of their wins are via walk-off, which is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Which I think is very, very possible. The Mets have a lot of prospect capital. I think that would change my perception on what the Mets can do in this season and in this division, especially when we start talking about playoff picture. That needs to happen. The question is when, because I think he's going to get moved this year. I would be hard-pressed to believe that they hold on to him.
Yeah, what's the point of keeping Sandy? Like, the wheels are going to fall off in a couple of weeks for them anyways, right? Like, their ceiling is so low, and it's like, oh, you're 4-4. Like you said, 4 walk-off hits. It's pretty wild. Most teams have that in a season, and they have it in a week and a half, and they're at 4-4. Their win totals, low 60s. Like, it's going to be a pretty tough season coming up here for them. I don't see them exceeding expectations at all. There's just really nothing to exceed them with. The team's not very good top to bottom. What's the point of keeping Sandy? When Sandy's on, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Not through like, oh, his stuff is awesome, which it's good. It's not bad, but like he just eats innings. He's always out there. He's super competitive. And like a team with a very yo-yo-esque bullpen, it's like that's the guy you need. You need a rock starter. It's like, oh, he didn't have his best stuff today. He's still hucking though. He's still keeping us in the game. So yeah, that's a good destination for them. I just don't know if they'd trade him in the division.
That's a good point. That's the target that I've seen. I think it makes a ton of sense.
Oh, for sure. It's just I don't know if they would be willing to do that. Just because it's the Mets and they're the Marlins. If it was like the D-backs or the Tiger, or not the Tigers, like the White Sox, I don't know. Like maybe you'd be more inclined to do so, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Let's round it out. The Nats 1-6 right now. CJ Abrams looks like he's got the gambling thing off his back and he's ready to play this year.
So the thing. Yeah, Lau looks good. We're going with Lau. We're going with Lau. Yeah. Lau looks good.
Really good. They've got some young pieces that I think are going to come around. Keibert Ruiz is actually hitting extremely well for a guy that is notoriously like a below average hitter. Josh Bell is doing the Josh Bell thing where he's probably going to hit 150 through the first half, get traded, and then have a monster second half in a different place because that's just what he does. James Wood, a rookie, having a decent start. I don't really have qualms with him. Dylan Cruz is the real deal in the outfield, but not hitting.
Not a great hitter right now.
No, striking out a ton, which was not something I expected. He's striking out just under 50% of the time. This is a team that I kind of thought would be fun this year, but I don't even know if that's going to be the case. Yes, the lineup is fun. Mackenzie Gore, don't be fooled by the numbers. He's not an ace. He rolled out on opening day, punched out 14, 15 of 18. Just was absurd.
I think it was 13. I think that's
13,
13 in 6 innings or something.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Got away with some stuff against the Blue Jays the other day. Gave up 3 runs over 5 innings. Only punched out 5, couple of walks. Gave up a ton of hits, though. Probably should have been 5 or 6 runs. Wasn't the case. He got some good defense behind him. But I think the Nats they're just the Nats this year. Like, I don't think they're going to take a big step this year. I think they have some pieces in place to start taking the step, but probably not this year.
How much you know about Kyle Finnegan?
Enough.
He's very frustrating, isn't he?
At times, yeah. At times, he
had like 30 saves last year, and then
he did.
It seems like every game he's in, he blows it. When I bet on them, anyways, it's very frustrating.
He is rocking a 0 ERA to this point, 1 hit allowed. But yes, he is rough at times.
Yeah, I just remember, I think it was opening day. I bet the Nats money line and +1.5, and that was Gore's really good start. Bullpen gave up the lead in the 8th inning. I think it was 3-3, and with 2 outs, they gave up a 4 spot in the 10th inning. I was irate. I was like, baseball's back. Yeah. AL Central. This is kind of a surprising division because minus the Tigers, everyone looks kind of bad.
Even the Tigers don't look that. I know they started with the Dodgers, so like the 3-4 record isn't exactly indicative, but everybody, you got 3 teams at 3-4, 2 teams at 2-5.
And the White Sox are the 3-4 team.
No, the White Sox are 2-5, unfortunately. However, they do have a positive run differential. The Twins have the worst run differential in the division at -15, sitting at 2-5. They have looked
horrible,
really bad, really, really bad. And Byron Buxton might be back. Hopefully he stays healthy. He's so much fun when he's good.
That's his thing. It's like the guy could be a 40-40 guy if he was just played the whole season.
Our guy, Ty France, not off to a good start.
No, did we expect him to be?
I always believe.
I know. I love my short king, Ty France.
The pitching has been shockingly poor because you have guys like Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan didn't look too sharp in his first 2 starts. Pablo Lopez has been very good, which I expected. He was one of the unluckiest pitchers in baseball last year. Wasn't going to overreact on him.
How about Chris Paddock, though? Whew. What did he give up 9 against the Sox?
Yeah, he
2
got
innings.
Touched up. 9 runs on 6 hits in 3 innings.
Yeah, that's bad. They're not hitting the ball either, though. Like,
no, the offense
a guy
has been
here and there
poor.
are, but like, Jose Miranda is like a younger guy that I think a lot of Twins fans are really expecting to step up pretty shortly here, and I don't think he's been doing much of anything.
They've scored the third to last in runs scored to this point in the year. They have 22 runs scored. The only teams worse than them are the Astros and the Rockies in runs scored.
And yeah, that is a team that you expected to at least compete for that division.
A lot of people like them. That was a team I didn't really understand the hype around it. And I know that the young pitching is really good. I really like Bailey Ober, although he's looked poor to this point. He got really touched up on opening day.
I bet him today, so hopefully you're right.
He'll probably bounce back, honestly. I really like the Guardians in this division, and they're 3-4. This division is going to be similar to what it was last year. Like, none of the team ceilings are all that high, but they're all really close. It's like basically the AL East, but lesser.
Lower. Yeah, you just take it and slide it down 10.
Yes.
10
Steven Kwan is awesome. J-Ram is a superstar. What's new? He's hitting 400 with 4 bombs already. So
yeah,
they're going to do their thing. The pitching is going to get better.
I'd say that's definitely their weak spot, though.
It is. The rotation
I feel
for
like
sure is their weak
I feel
spot.
like that lineup and the bullpen's okay. The bullpen's okay. I mean, you've got
the bullpen's always good. You have Clase, you have Cade Smith, you have Paul Sewald. Those guys are going to be fine. They moved Tristan McKenzie to the bullpen. I think that's a good move for just the sake of his health and keeping him on the field for an entire season.
Yeah, he's good when he's healthy. Yeah, but he's never healthy.
But the rest of the rotation is not scary. This is another team. I love Tanner Bybee. He's shredding already. Not necessarily with the strikeout numbers, but it's just what he does. He's a really good arm. Ben Lively and Gavin Williams have been meh. Then you have Luis Ortiz, who is not very good, but he exists and he's an arm. So
when's Bieber coming back?
That's what I'm excited for. He comes back in May, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, that's a guy that you need back for the healthy.
Desperately need back. The Royals also sitting at 3-4. It's going to be offense for them, honestly.
Yeah, they have not been hitting the ball all that much.
Michael Garcia is lighting the world on fire, and everybody else has kind of just been okay. Vinny P has been okay, but he's coming off of injury, so see how that plays out.
Outside of that one game against the Brewers, was that Monday? They scored 11.
Yeah.
I think that was really it for their offense. Like, that was kind of the culmination. I feel like that's half of their runs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something there, but.
No, that's true. That was their problem last year too. My biggest issue with them, the pitching is great, right? Seth Lugo found something last year. He's really, really consistent. I know he's getting up there in age. Cole Reagan's one of the better young arms in the game. Michael Lorenzen is serviceable at times. Michael Wacha had a really good year last year. They extended him for a couple more years. He's a good arm to have around. The bullpen is good. It's just the hitting. That was my problem with them last year. The lineup depth was almost non-existent. It's just the depth of it. Like, the top end of that lineup is pretty good. Like, obviously you have Bobby Witt, you have Vinny P, you have Jonathan India, who I think is decent at times. Salvi is going to do Salvi things. It's just what he does. But the depth of this lineup, the drop off from the third best hitter in that lineup to the sixth best hitter in that lineup is huge, which is my biggest problem with them last year. And I don't really think they got better in that, right? Outside of adding India. He adds a little bit more depth. I did like that move.
Mm-hmm. Do you even want to talk about the White Sox?
Maybe. It's worth it. Actually, yeah. The pitching has actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, surprisingly.
The starting pitching, let me be clear, not the bullpen. Starting pitching has looked good. They've got some really fun young arms. Yeah. Other than that, though, it's what do you want me to say? They've got a lot of young prospects that are not up yet. Andrew Benintendi is actually hitting, which is shocking. He's got 2 home runs already. Maybe this is the year.
I think he had 3 last year. 3 or 4. It wasn't many, but
No. I mean, it's just the White Sox. They stink. They've got a couple of young pieces that are up this year, but that window isn't. I mean, they don't even really have anybody that I would even talk about for trade purposes because
maybe Robert, if he.
They should move him, but who knows what that's going to happen. The Tigers also sitting at 3-5. My guy, Spencer Torkelson, he's back.
Oh, let's see. It's only week 2. Would you be surprised if he went 0-30 next week?
No, but I'll never stop believing in it.
I know. He's like Spencer Torkelson.
I love him. Riley Green is a superstar. No, nothing really to note there. He's already got 3 home runs on the season. He's awesome. Kerry Carpenter is a splits merchant, but he hits the absolute cover off the ball. You have the second best pitcher in baseball, Tariq Skubal. Jack Flaherty looks really good so far. Casey Mize looked really good so far. Reese Olson got touched up in his first start, but I like him in the long run. The bullpen is good. It just feels like it's the same team really as last year. They're going to be good. It's pretty much the same team.
Is Javi batting ninth? He's got a home run already.
Shouldn't be batting at all.
I think. How is Javi Baez batting? Yeah, I think he hit a home run already.
No, he does not. He has 2 RBIs.
Oh, maybe I was looking at something else. I thought
he has one double. He's hitting 214 with a double.
Oh, that's an improvement.
That is.
Last year it was like 190. Yeah, he terrible fall from grace for that guy. Very sad.
Yeah,
but also not that sad because he clearly doesn't care.
Very true. NL
Central. The Brewers have probably been the biggest surprise for how bad their pitching has looked. The hitting hasn't been much better, but the Brewers with the hitting, it always seems like they're one of the best teams in the league at manufacturing runs. So as long as they can get a guy on first base, they seem to turn it into a double like half the time. It's really just the pitching. Like the starting pitching has been god awful for that team. This past week was much better against the Reds. That's another team we'll have to touch on because that's also been a surprise. Like we needed the Reds to be able to hit, and they can't hit. I mean, outside of Ellie De La Cruz, who's really been hitting for that team. But the Brewers' pitching has been awful to start the season. And the hitting ceiling was pretty low, I feel like. Like when we were doing our previews, everything was this team needs to be able to pitch. And maybe it was just that one series against the Yankees.
Really bad. It was a really bad series.
And the Monday game against the Royals was also really bad, or the Tuesday game, whatever it was. But they've seemed to have settled in. But, I mean, am I off base with that? I feel like the hitting, the ceiling was a lot lower for that team just because it's like they don't have any slug in that lineup. Yes. Christian Yelich looks horrible. William Contreras looks horrible. Rhys Hoskins doesn't look much better.
No.
Jackson Cheerio punched out 5 times. Like, was it game 1 or 2? But he did have a much better week. So
yes, he's coming around. I was not worried. He's up to almost 300 now.
Yeah, no one was really worried about him.
Turang and Frelick are getting on at really good rates.
Turang especially. But yeah, the hitting that needs to kind of blossom a little bit. But like, I think the big exclamation point is how bad the rotation looked. Like, I don't think a lot of people were expecting a ton out of Nestor Cortez, anyways. But like, he's looked especially not good.
He's looked really bad. Freddie Peralta has been really good. He's
Minus
Freddie.
One start, yeah.
Well, even the one start. I mean, it was 2 home runs. He's only given up 3 runs this year. A bunch of.
Maybe I'm confusing what day was what, because it's hard to keep straight. They gave up so many runs.
That was the bullpen actually. Freddie actually looked pretty sharp in his first start.
Yeah,
bullpen gave up a handful at the end. The back end of the bullpen has been really good, and like the middle guys have been really bad. Abner Uribe looks really good so far. Brian Hudson looks really good so far. Trevor Meadville looks really good so far. Everybody else has just been
Pyomps and
bad. Pyomps has been bad. Savali has been bad. He's a starter, but Koenig has been bad.
Jake Bowers can't lead your team in ERA. He plays first base.
known electric pitcher, Jake Bowers. I've been really impressed. He was a guy that I talked about in the offseason. He was in AAA last year. Chad Patrick. Mm-hmm. He's looked pretty sharp so far. 6 strikeouts over 5 innings. Pitching to a 3 ERA. Curious to see how he holds up. I really liked him coming into this year. I was happy he made the opening day roster because I wasn't sure if he was going to. The Brewers are going to do the Brewers thing. Well, I mean, they always find a way to be competitive.
Level. Yeah, water will find its level, but like the pitching on the front end has been very, very, very bad as a whole.
Well, let's talk about your Cubs.
Oh, okay. Playing the Dodgers overseas, not ideal. So you're kind of in an 0-2 hole already, and like they didn't play really bad the first game. Second game, not so much. Kyle Tucker had a slow start. He seems to be hitting a lot better the last couple of games. Seiya's on fire. Seiya Suzuki looks really good, especially this last week. I mean, you play the A's, and that's always nice. They're like a run pinata, especially at that minor league stadium. Shota looks good. You were pretty low on Shota. Not necessarily unwarranted. He did get away with murder sometimes last season, but it seems to be continuing because he looks pretty solid. It's that bullpen. They played the D-backs. They didn't play the D-backs that great, but like Sunday night they were up 6-2. All of a sudden I look at 6-10. They gave up an 8 spot in the 8th inning. So yeah, that bullpen, like I said, would be really inconsistent. But Presley was a roller coaster yesterday, but we got the job done. So
it's kind of his story. It's kind of just how he is.
Yeah, he's good, but like good closers are like that though. Like Devin Williams loads the bases and then gets out of it. I call it the old Carlos Marmol special. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Oh yeah,
he was a fucking wild card.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I've been pleasantly surprised with Shota. The strikeout numbers are not what they were last year. He's got 10 strikeouts in 18 innings, so a little bit less. But he's getting guys out. He's not allowing runs, and that's really what matters at the end of the day.
That's just what you want, because like that lineup's good enough to where like, hey, if you score 5 runs, you should win. Like if you know your starter can go 6 or 7 innings solid, that should give your bullpen enough chance to, hey, you give up 3 or 4, you're okay. I guess that's probably my biggest question mark. It's not even the players, it's the manager managing those arms. Because like I don't know how you feel about Craig Counsell. I'm not very high on him just because like it seemed like when he was with the Brewers, maybe I'm way off base here, but this is kind of just my thought on it. It seemed like the Brewers had bullpen talent, but like he always seemed to mismanage like when to take those guys out, right? Take them out too early, take them out too late. It goes to a guy that's like obviously ice cold. Like last year, why the hell were we pitching Hector Neris 4 games a week and the guy's ERA is 400? Like, why are we doing that? You know what I mean? Like he's very stubborn. I feel like that's a good way of putting it. He's very stubborn. Like this is my guy. I'm going with it.
Speaking of Hector Neris, he actually just got DFA'd by the Braves after like 2 horrible appearances out of the bullpen. It's like we're done.
Yeah, he stinks. But
horrible.
Yeah, he's bad. But outside of that, it's like really early for those bats. Like I'd be a little more panicked if Kyle Tucker was still struggling. I'm not sure what his average is up to, but like
300.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So like he's doing just fine. How Swanson was another concern.
It's in the low 200s. Same with Horner. Horner's hitting like
I mean Horner always turns it around, but Swanson struggled a lot last year, and like he's not going to be a terribly high average guy, but like as long as he can get that to like 260, 270, I'd be pretty satisfied with that.
He's also the second, like in the NL, he's probably the second best defensive shortstop.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why you give him that leeway, because it's like, oh, he saves runs defensively. If he's not contributing as much at the plate, like you can live with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that makes sense. Happ looks good too. Carson Kelly looks good. So I mean, like they're hitting fine. Like my qualms are with the bullpen for the most part, and it's not even the rosters. It's it's not the pitchers. It's navigating those pitchers. Like having a good sense of who's got their good stuff right now. Sometimes you have to throw people out there. Like you kind of got hit around the day before. It's game 2 of a 4-game set. It's like, hey, you got to have somebody step up, but. Like maybe I'm way off base, but I just kind of feel like Counsell struggles with that. Maybe just because he's stubborn. I don't know. But that bullpen is definitely the liability. I'd like to see them step up a little more. But satisfied through the first 8, 9, 10 games.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's talk about a disappointment. Cincinnati Reds.
They can't hit.
Anemic offense.
And
Ellie is technically their best hitter. He's only hitting 250. He's not striking out a ton though, which I guess is a good sign. He's
putting the ball
8 strikeouts. Yeah, 8 strikeouts and 32 at bats. So like he's actually been solid as far as the strikeout numbers are concerned. But as a lineup, this team is just horrendous. This team is just not scoring runs at all.
And Candelario's a guy you need to hit. Matt McLain, I think is he back yet? Is McLain back?
Yep.
McLain's a guy you need to hit. I don't know if Tyler Stevenson's back. I feel like he's always on the shelf, but he needs to hit. Encarnacion Strand, he's batting cleanup for them. I don't think he's doing much of anything. Like, yeah, you just need the hitting to contribute because I feel like they've been pitching the ball very well, and that was kind of everyone's
They
concern.
have
It
been.
was
Yep.
like it was a pinata on who was starting the game for them. It's like, God, just get us to the 8th inning because at least Alexis Diaz could give you a chance. I know you're not very high on him, but
No, I don't like him.
most of the time it was like, okay, if we're up 2, it might be interesting, but we could win this game 9-8. It's just they're not hitting the ball whatsoever, and it's a hitter-friendly park, and they've
The
played.
Great American Small Park.
They played what 6 games at home, and they haven't hit yet. Really, I mean, I think Elliott was off to a good start. I think he was at 400 through that first weekend, and then he had a tough series against Brewers, but not hitting the ball. Not hitting the
No,
ball.
and to your point, the pitching has been really good. Nick Lodolo, who I've always been really high on, he's looked really sharp despite the strikeouts not really being there. Hunter Green is a Cy Young candidate when he's healthy. He looks really good so far. Brady Singer looked really, really good in his first start. He went 7 scoreless, 8 punchies. The pitching is good. And like you said, as long as you can get to the ball to the back end of that bullpen, like you're probably going to be fine a lot. They just have to hit. Man, it's bad.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that no one was really expecting. That that
No.
lineup isn't full of all-stars, but they're kind of full of chip-in guys, right? It's like, hey, we need you to just put the ball in play and move the guy from second to third. We have 1 out, hit a sac fly, you're good. You know what I mean? Things like that. It's like outside of Dela Cruz, I don't see a guy hitting like 40 home runs, 100 RBIs on this team. But they're all gonna. It's like a by committee thing, and it's just no one's chipping in right now. So I'm sure that'll heat up, but you just hope you can keep the good pitching because like that won't last either. Especially
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's move to the Cardinals.
They look
pitching.
Okay.
Pitching has been bad, but the hitting
the
Ivan Herrera is literally lighting the world on fire right now. He's got 4 bombs. I believe all 4 are this week. Alec Burleson looks really good again. Jordan Walker appears to have figured something out, which could be really big for the Cardinals because they've kind of just been sitting on him. And I was a believer. I was kind of out. I'm in I'll believe it when I see it mode with him, and he's showing it right now. I'm a big Victor Scott guy. He's looked really good. Contreras has looked horrible at the plate, but
did you see him like his bat?
No.
Someone put a clip in of our group chat of him just at the plate. They step out to their gloves. He's just like licks it. You're wild, dude.
This guy, hey man, whatever
helps. Yeah.
Yeah. The pitching just hasn't quite been there. Sonny Gray, I think, will turn it around. He's gotten touched up the first couple of times. Eric Fetty is, I think that experiment just needs to end. They went and got him from the White Sox last year and has not done anything for them in the 6 months that he's been there. Matthew Liberatore is back up. He's going to be good. Miles Michaelis, my arch nemesis, has looked pretty sharp so far, but he's not very good in general. Got some good pieces in the back end. Ryan Helsley is as good as they come.
Yeah, it's hard to even critique the bullpen because like they haven't even had a chance to. They've had no meaningful innings. It's like, oh, we gave up 7 runs. Like, what do you really expect out of them?
Yeah, exactly. They went and got Jojo Romero, or no, he was there last year too, but he was really good last year as their setup guy. He's looked really good so far. Our guy, former NAC athlete, Chris Roycraft, is throwing okay so far, giving up a handful of runs.
Where did he go to school? Concordia?
He went to Aurora.
Aurora, okay.
Yeah.
There's an Illinois one. That's cool.
Yeah. Shout out the NAC. I don't have a whole lot to say about the Cardinals. I mean, to me, like, I don't really know how to feel about them. It felt like last year they had the pieces there, and I think we talked about this in our preview. It felt like they didn't really need to add anything, but the guys that are there just need to perform better.
Yeah, like they did nothing in the offseason. And that was like one of their fans' biggest complaints. It's like you did nothing. But like I kind of see both sides of it. Like you said, it's like you had everything
what did you need to do
last year. Yeah, essentially they let Goldschmidt go. And he didn't give you much last year anyways. But it's like, well, I shouldn't say didn't give you much. He didn't give you what you were expecting last year. That's what I should say. It's a better way of putting it. But like they they should have been good last year and they weren't. So it's hard to be like, hey, you guys should have did more. It's like, I don't know. So I mean, the pitch, a lot of runs given up, a couple of the games, a lot of runs scored. So I mean, I think you just need to take a deep breath with this team and kind of just see how the next couple of weeks go, see if what direction they're headed. We'll have a better idea of what they're going to look like down the road. Because I mean, it's just runs, 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 or no runs. I mean, they beat the piss out of the Twins. They gave up a lot of runs to the Angels, and they beat the Red Sox yesterday, right? But they also gave up like 9 runs.
It was like 9-6 or something was that final score, I think.
Yeah, so it's like not really sure what way to turn there, I guess is a good way of putting it. Not really sure what to expect yet.
Yeah. Rounded out, the Pirates, I don't have a whole lot to say. You've got the best pitcher in baseball, and you didn't add anything behind him. It's just a shame. You have to extend him. I think you'd be crazy to let him walk.
I'm excited to see Bubba Thompson play, too. I mean, when's he going to get called up?
It's a really good question.
June-ish? No.
Probably I imagine this year, I would think. O'Neal Cruz hitting the cover off.
This lineup's bad. I mean,
bad.
Some guys have stepped up. They've scored some runs in the
IKF hitting 360.
Yeah, but like this lineup's bad.
It's really bad.
Like
Brian Reynolds hitting horribly right now. Brian Hayes was awful last year. He's not off to a good start this year. Mm-hmm. O'Neal Cruz is O'Neal Cruz. He's going to hit 800-foot home runs and strike out a lot.
Yeah, and like we've been kind of going through what guys look good and what guys don't look so good so far, but you can say with the utmost confidence that like this lineup will fizzle out. They always do. And I'm not sure how like you're much more in tune with the baseball Twitter stuff. Were a lot of people expecting the Pirates to be any good? No.
Not really. The biggest narrative with the Pirates was O'Neal Cruz is going to take the next step and start potentially being an MVP caliber guy, which I think the talent is there.
I don't think that's outrageous, but like
but as a team, no.
They didn't add anything. Yeah, they didn't get any better.
No. I mean, you gave Brian Reynolds a huge bag, which like I like Brian Reynolds, but he can't be your superstar on offense. It's just not going to play.
No, and like he's a switch hitter. He plays solid defense, but like he's got slug potential, but like I think that average is too low. It seems to like, 270, 280, and that's really all he gives you. And honestly, like, yes, you have Paul Skeens, you've got Bubba Thompson coming up, but you're starting pitching. You've kind of had guys with potential the last few seasons that just haven't ever really lived up to it. Like, how many years have we heard, oh, this is your Mitch Keller's going to step up? He's never stepped up.
And Jared Jones is hurt right now. I really like Jared Jones. Jared Jones and Skeens is like their building block right now.
But that just proves my point. It's like you've had the potential on the pitching, and it just hasn't come to realization. You gave them no assistance in your lineup. Their lineup's really, really bad.
Yeah.
Outside of the couple guys like IKF, and you expect that to last? I mean, he's what, a 250 career hitter, maybe?
Probably not even that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. My darling Jack Sawinski, is he even on the roster?
He's got limited at bats. I think he's already parked a home run. He's good for a home run now and then.
He's good for like 25 if he could hit off of a lefty.
Yeah, no, there's nothing really to say about the Pirates.
No.
The Pirates are like, to me, that's like the White Sox in this division. It's like
and I'm not trying
there
to.
There was no expectation. No, but also historically, they actually usually they start really hot in May, and they're actually off to a really bad start. Usually, it's like, oh, did they figure something out this year?
Yeah,
it's like, no, wait till June.
They sweep the Dodgers at home in the second week of May, and then they don't win for 2 months. It's like there was your World Series right there. Yeah, and like I'm not trying to poo-poo on them. I'm just trying to be honest. But like, what do you really expect? It's like they struggled with the Marlins. I think they lost that series to the Marlins. Who did they play the second series?
They played the Rays, and now they're playing with the Yankees right now.
Yeah, and they got piss beat out of them yesterday. So it's like it's hard to be optimistic about them. Like, what do you really expect from them when you don't make any real meaningful additions to your lineup and you're just banking on pitching potential? Bednar's been horrible. I guess that's one thing
He
we
might
didn't
just
touch on.
he actually might just stink.
Yeah,
I
he
might
got DFA'd, and like he was the best closer in baseball in 23. And then we were expecting that to continue in 24, and his ERA might have been 4 meaningful numbers instead of 3. Like it might have been 10. Yeah, he might just be bad, and like that has been the rockier bullpen for 2 years, and I think he blew like 15 saves last year. Like he might
yeah,
not
he
be
was
the guy.
bad. No, not at all.
So unfortunately, not optimistic about the Pirates, even though I kind of want to be.
No. Let's move to the West. AL. The Rangers, my World Series dark horse, look very good so far. Jack Leiter just hit the DL, which is unfortunate because he looked really, really sharp in his first 2 starts. Nathan Eovaldi looks really good. Jacob deGrom, really good. Bullpen, really good.
I don't think that bullpen is really good, though. I think they
I don't
just
think so
look
either.
really good.
They just look
Like
really good right now.
if they're in position, they're gonna do like an Aroldis Chapman ad. Not him, but like they're gonna add a bullpen arm. Like
Yeah,
and
100%.
that's what good teams do. But like I don't think their bullpen is in a position where they can't do that. You know, like some of the really good teams have serviceable bullpens. I don't think they. I think they're overperforming. I like in reality, I don't think this pen is very good. But everything else, tip top.
Yeah, well, on the pitching side, the offense, believe it
Yeah,
or not, despite being 6-2, is
not great.
horrible right now.
Yeah,
Hitting
Corey
under
Seager.
200.
Is,
Corey Seager has 0 RBIs on the season so far, only hitting 200. Jock Peterson, no RBIs, no home runs, which is a bummer because I thought he was going to be really good there. Wyatt Langford's really been their best bat so far. He's got 2 bombs on the season, hitting 250, and nobody else is hitting close to that. Josh Smith is also hitting 250, but I
how
mean,
about Garcia?
He's hitting 200, 2 bombs, 4 RBIs. The offense has been bad, but they're winning games. So, I mean,
That's
I'm a big
good.
believer in a
Yeah.
lot of the pieces of this lineup. Like Jake Berger will be better. Langford's only going to get better. Simeon's going to get better. Corey Seager's MVP caliber player every single year. He's going to be fine. Peterson will find a stride at some point and start hitting nukes. I was really, really high on the Rangers coming into the year. I still am. And I think the 6-2 start hitting 190 as a team is pretty indicative of what this team can do.
Yeah, just
So,
imagine when those bats wake up and like
yeah.
even if the pitching takes a step down, it's like, hey, we won without scoring runs. Like what can we do when we score runs? Even if we give up
Yes.
a few. Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't be worried about this team at all. And despite the anemic offense, it's been pretty good to start.
Yeah. The Mariners, 3-5. The offense is the same thing.
Yeah.
Striking out 30% of the time again. Julio is okay right now. JP Crawford looks bad at the plate. Arozarena looks bad at the plate. That's looking like kind of a bad trade right now. Cal Raleigh will turn it around. He just got his bag, but he hasn't looked too sharp yet. The pitching is always going to be really good.
Yep.
Although
That's what we talked about in our write-ups. Yeah.
Yeah, as a whole, it hasn't been great so far. At least in terms of the bullpen, the starting pitching has been really solid between Gilbert Castillo and Brian Wu.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Miller has looked solid so far. The pitching is going to be fine. The whole thing with this team is offense. Like, can you not strike out 30% of the time? The answer right now is no.
No, a resounding no.
Resounding no. So we'll see. This team has stolen my shirt off my back the last 2 years. I finally didn't bet them on a future this year. Just show it. I don't know. I honestly, I'm out of, not necessarily out of belief, but I don't really know what to say about this team anymore because
Yeah, you're kind of out of
I've spent so much
excuses. Yeah.
I've spent so much time defending them over the last 2 years, and it already is becoming the same story.
Yeah, they're just mediocre. Like I wouldn't be shocked if they won exactly 81 games. It's just,
Probably will.
Yeah, it's just
Probably will.
I don't want to say they're bad. They're just like you just leave a lot to be desired.
It's just the offense. It's just the offense. You can't win games when you strike out 30% of the time, and that's what they do every single year. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, and they just like. I don't know. I get that they tried last year. Like you went and got Randy Arozarena, who like in theory should have been a good signing, but I think he might be close to done. Like we might be ending the end of big game Randy.
Yeah.
The Astros, second to last in runs scored so far this season.
Stinky. I know I was wrong about them because I thought they'd be okay, and like they still might be. But
pitching has been good.
The pitching,
Hunter Brown's been really good. Valdez is solid. Arrighetti is really good. Ronel Blanco is going to return to the average this year because he was not as good as we saw last year. He's already starting to show that a little bit. The offense, though, like I don't even know what to say. I mean, Altuve is Altuve. Like, he's hitting over 300. He's always going to be fine. Christian Walker's hitting under 200. That was your big signing. Jordan has yet to get going. He hasn't really shown much of anything power-wise. Isaac Paredes hitting 130 makes me smirk just a little bit inside. Such an anti-Isaac Paredes guy.
I know you don't like him. That's okay, though.
Cam Smith, despite lighting the world on fire in spring training, off to a pretty slow start. I'm not really worried about him. He's going to be fine. Brendan Rodgers has actually been kind of a bright spot for them offensively, hitting over 300 in limited at-bats. They picked him up from the Rockies over the offseason after the Rockies DFA'd him. Jeremy Pena, my definition of absolute mid, hitting 130. The offense is bad right now, I will say. I don't expect Jordan Alvarez to hit this poorly. He's one of the best bats in all of baseball.
No, I'm with you there. It's been really disappointing to start, but I think we're going to be in a similar position as last year with this team. I don't think they're going to win the division. I'm with you. I like the Rangers, but I think this will be a wild card team. Those bats will wake up for sure. It's just a matter of time. They looked dead last year, right? Like it was June.
They were dead. I remember we talked about it on a podcast, and I think it was towards the end of May, and I remember very vividly we said, if they don't turn it around like this week, it's probably over. And they turned it around like that week, went on a world beater tear and figured some things out. So I could very easily see it being a similar season, especially without Kyle Tucker. I mean, you're losing a MVP caliber player there.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's push to the Angels. 4-3 right now. They're also a team that they're just kind of mid. They went and got Yusei Kikuchi. I like that signing. He's been solid so far. Jose Soriano has been solid so far.
Didn't look good last night.
No, he did not. Kyle Hendricks, the professor, rocking a 3 ERA through one start.
Legend.
Might be 60 years old. Ben Joyce throwing 110 like he does. Just an absolute stud. They just are, I mean, it's just I don't really know what to say. I mean, Mike Trout is healthy, so like that's good for the game, but he's only hitting 160. But he's Mike Trout, so I love watching him actually play. Shanuel's off to a good start, making contact a lot, which is a good sign.
Soler's a little slow.
Soler's off to a slow start. No home runs, which is kind of what you brought him in to do. I don't know. I mean, the Angels, to me, I think I placed them 4th in this division. They're probably going to end up in 4th in this division. They might be a little bit better than expected. They've got some fun young guys that are finally in like their 2nd or 3rd full season. So those guys will probably start putting it together for full 162, whereas we saw Shanuel and we saw Zach Neto kind of struggle at times last year.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. They've got some fun pieces, but I don't have a whole ton to say with the Angels.
Like we were talking before, and it's like if the year was 2018, they'd be World Series favorites, like 100%. But it's like it's hard to be like super critical of them because you're not really expecting much out of them, you know? Like all the players on their team like should be good players, right? It's just they never seem to put it together, right? Like you had Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout like at one time arguably 1 and 2 in the league, right, of like talent, and you are never good. So like why would you making roster moves lead us to believe that it's going to be any different? You know what I mean? So it's just like I'm not really expecting much out of them. A good start, I guess. I mean, they could easily be 0-6, but they're not. So I don't really know.
Right. Let's move to the A's. A's are 3-4. Win total placed at, I believe, 70 or 72.5, something to that effect. Thought that was a really well-placed line. Again, this is a team that offensively I really like. Jacob Wilson is off to a roaring start, a dude who struck out 30 some odd times in 4 years of college baseball. He has struck out 0 times to this point in the season. Dude, he's a freak. Think Luis Arias, but kind of a better hitter, quite honestly. He's got 2 bombs so far. He might be coming into some power. I don't expect a whole lot of power production out of him, but really cool to see. Brent Rooker, obviously going to be fine. Tyler Soderstrom, they moved him to first base. He's been fantastic for them so far. Shea Langoliers has been really solid. Lawrence Butler off to a little bit of a slower start, but he'll be fine as well. It's the same thing as last year. It's the pitching. You have arguably the best closer in baseball in Mason Miller, but the starting pitching is okay. As Oswaldo Beto has actually been really solid so far. Severino has been Severino. I think, he's got a 3.7 ERA right now. I think that's kind of what we're going to expect out of him.
Mid threes. Yeah.
Despite receiving the largest contract in A's history.
I don't know what that's about, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I do have a little bit of stock in them to make the playoffs at 16-1. I thought that was a little bit outrageous for how weak the AL is, in my opinion. Like, maybe they get really hot at the right time and steal a third wild card spot. Don't be surprised too if they're like right at that 70 win mark. I thought that was a really well placed line, like I mentioned. I could see Luis Severino being a trade guy at the deadline.
If someone wants a contract,
it's a lot of money to take on. I thought they gave him way too much, but I like the effort that they showed, the initiative that they showed, and being willing to purchase players. I think it was refreshing, even though it took them leaving Oakland, which honestly just irritated me about it even more.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point, because like they were in a position like the Marlins, maybe not as severe, right? Like the Marlins or the White Sox, where they could have very easily been like, oh, we're not going to spend any money this year. Like, we're not going anywhere. What's the difference? And like at least they put forth an effort to bring in a couple of guys that are, contributors anywhere they play. So that was refreshing to see. Like with their whole situation, there's really no reason for them to do so.
No. NL West, the best division in baseball.
Yeah.
By far. Dodgers 8-1. I don't really think we need to talk a whole lot about the Dodgers. We know what they're going to do this year.
They could win 125 games. They're that good.
Insane. Padres sneakily 7-1. I know a lot of the drama that happened in the offseason kind of skewed the perception of what this team might be. They're still really, really freaking good. Hitting really well. Jackson Merrill is a superstar. They gave him the exception. He got paid. Love that. Obviously, you've got Dylan Cease and Michael King, one of the best 1-2s in all of Major League Baseball.
Michael King, what a story, huh? He's a Brewer, Yankees reliever, and then they switch him to starter, and it's working. Yeah, his stuff was always good, but I think last year he got hit around a little bit, but I think that was more so adjusting to how you pitch, and for 7 innings as opposed to 1. But yeah, his stuff was always really, really gross. So good for him.
He's awesome. Randy Vasquez is probably the shocking one on this list. He's got a 1.6 ERA through 2 starts.
Yeah, like a Ranger Suarez story from last year.
He's got 5 strikeouts he has 5 strikeouts and 9 walks in 10 innings. He's given up 2 runs.
The old Blake Snell special.
Crazy. Yeah, this team is really good. They're probably going to finish out second in this division. They're really scary. Yeah. They are a scary team to play in a wild card set, in a 3-game set, when you have to face Cease and King back to back.
What's really crazy though? Like, this team could win 100 games and finish 10 games behind the Dodgers. Not even just get second, like not even close.
10 games back.
First, yeah.
The Giants 6-1.
Surprise.
Very fun story so far. Mm-hmm. Very fun story. Willy Adames not off to the start that we maybe would have expected, but he's still hitting well. I mean, no home runs, but he's got 6 RBIs. Wilmer Flores has 4 bombs so far. Matt Chapman seems to be ageless, quite honestly. He's like as consistent as they come year in and year out. Logan Webb, same thing. Very, very consistent. Gamer. Sure. Jordan Hicks looks really good so far. Camilo Doval looks like he is back and actually figured things out. Him and Ryan Walker, who Ryan Walker was projected to take over the closer role. They both have 2 saves so far, so I think it's going to be saves by committee, which I think is great for them. It's only going to make that bullpen just a little bit deeper. They're surprisingly good. This is a team that I liked a lot last year as well. They're pitching to a 2.95 right now. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'll be really curious to see how this goes over the course of 162. But I don't think it would be crazy to say. I think I picked the Diamondbacks over them this year. I picked the Giants over the Diamondbacks last year and was wrong. I don't think it would be crazy for the Giants to finish in third in this division.
I don't think so either. I think I had them in fourth. Just because, like,
them and the D-backs are very similar.
Yeah, like this division's pretty much who's finishing third, fourth, and fifth, because it was pretty clear that who 1 and 2 were in a particular order, and then it was kind of just outside of the Rocky. Really, it was 3 or 4. Like this division was who's finishing third, and I would be inclined to take the D-backs, but off to the based off the start we've already had, the Giants look solid. D-backs are kind of, but I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of the D-backs, let's just bang through them. The pitching for them has really been the story as far as where they're coming up short. The offense has been really good. Corbin Carroll's off to a solid start, not fantastic. Eugenio Suarez has 5 bombs already. Absolutely mashing. Ketel Marte hitting 350. No home runs to show for it, but he just got his big extension. He got his bag. He's one of the best second basemen in the league, if not the best second baseman in the league. The pitching is really where they've fallen short so far. Merrill Kelly really got hit around in his first 2 starts. Zach Gallen has looked really solid, which is to kind of be expected. Brandon Pfaadt has been okay. The bullpen has been okay.
Yeah, just a lot of they've played in a lot of high-scoring games, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's just they're hitting. I mean, as long as you have one of those, right? Like, I guess that's kind of the takeaway from all of these teams. It seems like the one struggle is one of those areas. Like, you can't not have either. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're getting shelled and you're not hitting. It's like, well, you're already behind the 8 ball. At least they have that going for them.
Yeah, I'm with you. And if you don't know him already, Justin Martinez is like the best, arguably one of the best closers in baseball right now. His stuff is diabolical. Like, he's so ridiculously good. I think the D-backs are going to be good. I think this is going to be a really fun race in the West for second. As stupid as that.
Yeah, it does sound dumb, but like you're right, because I mean,
it's just how it is.
The Dodgers are probably going to win 115 games. Like, seriously. And what's the record? 118, 121, something like that.
No, I thought it was less than that. I thought 115 was the record. I thought 116 would break it.
They might break it.
Especially with when you consider how they underperformed last year. Like, no team in the MLB won 100 games last year.
That's so weird to say. Like,
right?
Yeah.
With some of the super teams that we, not super teams, but like super teams that we had last year, like there was coming into the year, I think there was like 4 or 5 teams that I was like, this team can win 100 games. Like, you had the Yankees, you had the Braves, you had the Phillies, you had the Dodgers, even the Padres were like, they could.
They could, yeah.
And nobody did. I think the best wins over the course of the season was 94. So don't be shocked to see them just overperform over the course of the year with how they kind of underperformed in the regular season.
Do you think they're going to win the World Series again, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. If they get to the World Series, yes. There's nobody in the AL that can be. It's going to be the NL for probably the next handful of years, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody in the AL is like that far and out better than other teams.
Mm-hmm.
If they get through, depending on their draw, if they draw the Padres again in the first round,
they could lose that one.
I would be very nervous. If they play the Phillies or Braves in the NLCS, it'll be a really good series, but I still like their chances. To me, it's like, can they get through the Padres again if they play them? If they don't draw the Padres, I would say yes.
Yeah, I don't see anyone in the AL who could even
keep
up. You would say the Yankees, but like, you losing Cole is huge in a playoff setting. And I don't think they've got enough. Like, losing Soto for their prospects there was huge.
Yep.
But crazy.
It's going to be the NL. Rockies don't have a whole lot to say. They're off to 1-6 start.
Yeah. I guess their saving grace is they are not scoring runs, but they are hitting the ball. Like, they're getting guys on base, kind of. Well, I bet on them a couple of times, like whether it be an
We got a
over
277 OBP.
That's bad, but like
really
that
bad.
Phillies game, they scored 4 runs between the two of them, and they each had like 10 hits, or it was like 9 and 12. So, and then yesterday they left a lot of guys on.
Do you want to know my favorite stat in baseball right now?
I do.
Antonio Senzatella for the Rockies has pitched
The pitcher.
9 innings this year. He's given up 19 hits. He only has 3 strikeouts. He has a 2.2 whip. So it's walks and hits per innings. He has a 0 ERA.
That's so awesome.
It's so stupid. It makes no sense.
The guy's a gamer.
Guys getting bases loaded, damn near bases loaded every inning he pitches, and he has 0 runs allowed. That's ridiculous.
I guess you could say they're not getting blown out.
No, they're not. Their pitching has actually been like decent by stats considerations. They have a sub 4 ERA, which is like
minus the whip. Their OBP is
not
only
good.
270. That's crazy. I feel like they're leaving
hitting 217 with a 270 OBP. It's bad. They have a lot of young talent. Chase Dollander just got the call up. If you're not aware, he'll be pitching on Sunday against the A's. He's one of the top pitching prospects in all of baseball. He'll be pitching at Coors, so hopefully that doesn't bite him in the butt. Michael Toglia,
it was snowing yesterday. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
That was wild. I bet that over.
Michael Toglia, who is like could hit 40 home run kind of guy. He's striking out almost 60% of the time as we stand today on Saturday. So who knows? Chris Bryant's hitting under 100. What a shock. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of young talent on this team, but there's not really anything to talk about. There's no expectations around them. So it's kind of just like, how are the young guys going to perform? I think is just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
They're going to be awful again. They're going to be horrible.
Anything else? This was a longer one, but I think we were due for a baseball one. We've been talking about college ball.
That's all I got. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Overdue Sports. Subscribe to the Substack, the YouTube. Rate the show on Spotify, wherever you're listening to us. If you made it this far, if you did, you're a sicko. We'll be back next. Well,
sometime.
This will come out on Tuesday. So when you're listening to this next week,
yeah, we'll do something.
And we're out.
I don't know. We don't know when.
No, not at all.